All right, yo, we back, man. So look, last week an ESBC development roundtable took place, and we've been anticipating this game for a long time, my people. Y'all already know, man. We've been talking about ESBC for 2 years now. So as we get closer to the release date, more and more information is dropping. All boxing fans around the world, all boxers, we're all waiting. Even MMA fans are waiting for this game to come out. It's supposed to be the best simulation game that we've ever had, best simulation boxing game that we've ever had. It's supposed to be the best simulation boxing game that we've ever had. So it's highly anticipated. I think that it's going to break the mold on what we're used to in sports games, with the fact that it's going to be as close to real life as we've ever had with the physics base. So look forward to it. And it's good that you see Steel City Interactive is still communicating with the people, because a lot of times once these development companies get large or get large investments, they go silent. And, they kind of have a mystique about the release, and they're keeping us up to date. They even have Sonny Edwards, a professional boxer, a former world champion, as a part of the team. So he's on here giving his insight, and he's playing the game every day, testing it out for these people. So it's good that they care about the nuance of the sport. They want to get shit right. I think not having a boxing game for the last 10 years, the people are kind of anxious. They want them to rush this game out, and they're staying true to what they said in the beginning when they were a small studio. We're going to get it right for y'all. We're going to make sure that this is the best game, the best boxing game that's ever come out. And so far, they're proving it. So let's check this out. A lot of information in here, and we'll holler back at the end. All right, for the sake of time, I'm just going to skip to the part everybody cares about, which is the release date and early access.
Chat, but Ash, I'm going to ask you right now. Everyone, no matter what piece of video we post, no matter what we say, no matter what thing we release, they say this is great. But
yo, look, Todd Grisham, man, he is on top of this for the people. I think he's really for the people. I think he wants this to come out ASAP because he's played it, he's seen it. He's, like one of the head honchos with the DAZN network, who's obviously a big part of this game. And I think he's really for the people. Like, he's asking the right questions. Whether they answer it directly or not, he's asking the questions we want to ask.
When is the damn game coming out? Ash, I will ask you right now. When is the release date?
When?
What do you got?
So whilst we don't have a confirmed release date...
Oh, shit.
Working towards an internal date. With our own milestones, and we have a roadmap, to that end goal, right? We will be going early access.
Yo.
In terms of launching this on Steam, and there's a few things that we've done to essentially get to that decision, right? In terms of
I don't know about y'all, but I don't have a gaming PC, so I'm gonna have to. That might be something I have to cook up, because I'm gonna have this the second it's able to touch my hands. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to finagle a gaming PC in my crib, because they're only gonna drop it on Steam. I'll say this: that's usually how it goes with the early access. So it's in the testing phase. They'll release a version of it that's close to the final release, and they'll allow the people to kind of suggest what needs to be worked on. They'll kind of go do the rest of the development through the community, which is great. They only do it on PC because it's a lot easier for them to put in updates daily, from computer to computer. So consoles will come later on down the line once there's a more close to final version of the early access, maybe like 3 months, 6 months, who knows? But usually that's how it goes. So you can't be mad at that. I mean, that's kind of what I expected to happen, actually.
We know there's been a very long wait in people waiting for a boxing game. I include myself as one of the people that saying
they're not in a fucking rush because they're playing it every day.
But at the same time, we've just got to make sure that we don't cut corners.
Okay.
And we deliver a really good experience.
Okay.
And there's things that from day one that I wanted to make sure we're able to nail. And I wouldn't be...
This is like, to me, where Sonny Edwards being here plays a major part in why I'm excited about this game. They have an actual world champion boxer that's a part of the development. You can't get better than that. When it comes to a sports game, you can tell when there's actual athletes involved, and when, obviously this world needs computer guys, like computer geeks, but you know, you have to have the actual guys in there telling you what's real and what's not. You have to. And for a world champion boxer to be a part of the development and the process of getting this game out, that's a good sign. I'm telling you what, like the best year 2K had was the year where Spike Lee did the directing, and it was a story about LeBron James, and there's a story about your player interacting with LeBron James, and LeBron James produced the actual story. That was one of the best 2Ks ever. It felt like, okay, they're letting us in on the inside. Like, how does it really feel to be on the rise? How does it really feel to, kind of have to make superstar decisions? If they're really getting in touch with these guys, with these boxers, this might be an epic game. This might be one of the deepest boxing games ever. Already, out the gate.
Happy within myself or the studio for us to release something that, we're not entirely satisfied with. So at the moment, as I
can dig that.
There's some key milestones coming up in terms of us essentially nailing those to get to that.
I can dig that
early access window, and obviously, as soon as we've hit those, we're confident.
Okay.
We'll give that date. The last thing that I want to do, and look, this has been a learning process for us, being a young studio, in I guess trying to be
get
as
it right,
transparent as possible about when we're looking to launch. Sometimes if things don't always go to plan, or actually, mainly in our case, the scope of the project is increasing. I think that's been the main thing for us in terms of.
That's what I think was confusing the people, is they think that the game being delayed means that it's just because it's not ready in a bad way, but they keep getting new fighters, they keep getting new contracts, they keep adding to the game, and they're thinking of new ideas, and they're actually putting it in. As a gamer, that's what you want from the development company. You don't want them just putting out whatever for the sake of getting the game out. That's pretty much what you're going through in every other sports game right now. 2K comes out every September. Madden comes out every August. FIFA comes out every July. And they always rush the game. And the game always comes out not ready to be played. And the community goes crazy. And then they do updates. And they basically spend the whole game cycle updating the game to try to fix stuff that could have been fixed if they took their time making the game and didn't force the release to be on a certain window. So what happens is you spend the whole year cycle just trying to fix stuff that the people are complaining about, which they still don't do a good job of. Neither one of those games. And all that time goes to that, and that time sucks away from actually adding new stuff into the game. So now you're getting a game that's the same every single year, where instead of like, okay, this year we're gonna fix this, we're not gonna worry about adding stuff, we're gonna fix this. This is not gonna be an issue moving forward with this game. And then after we fix this, now we'll update new stuff into the game. We'll add a new thing. Make sure that thing doesn't conflict with what the game already has going on. And then you keep layering on new stuff. What these companies want to do is copy and paste the stuff from last year, the same problems, the same issues, and then layer a bunch of crap on top of that. Almost to the point where it's so transparent that you can see the old shit behind it. Like Madden had a screen glitch where you could see the last year's home screen through that year's home screen. It was like it was still up in the back. They just literally pasted the new screen on top of it. It was crazy. And that's happening in Madden 22. So, you gotta hand these guys their flowers. Like they have money on the table. They could drop this game while everybody's craving for it. And they're like, nah, we're going to get it right. Because once we come out, we're out. And once we come out, there's no turning back to where we could have came out the right way. And, that's called development integrity. That's called, like, staying true to the purpose of making the game. It wasn't about money when you started. Don't make it about money now.
We want to do so many things. And really it's about nailing down and really delivering an excellent boxing game without trying to do 300 things at once. So
exactly.
As part of that early access process, there's things that we're going to include, and then there's things that we're going to bring in as part of that early access roadmap. So, things like career mode, won't be in day one on early access.
Whatever.
That'll be a feature that will be brought in as part of
whatever. We don't care.
But not on day one. So for us right now, there's a lot of focus in terms of making sure we absolutely nail the in-fight mechanics.
Okay.
Also, online is going to be a very big part of this as well.
And Will, from your experience, typically speaking, not saying this is going to be our trajectory, but after an early release, after you launch on early release, typically how long after a release do you do a full release on either Xbox, PS4, PS5? How long does that generally take?
Oh gosh.
It really depends.
Oh.
I think there's no sort of straightforward answer to that.
Oh.
A lot of it is going to have to do with what our players say about the.
I'm gonna tell you what, man. I got the PS5 and the Xbox Series. The fact that it's not coming out for either one of those early access wise, and the fact that I'm gonna have to get either a Steam Deck, the handheld Steam controller you can play the Steam games on, or actually get a gaming PC. That tells you how big this game is. You know, like every time I see a video about this game, I read the comments and it's people talking about, you know, getting a gaming PC if it comes down to it. And I don't know what they're gonna wait for people to say. They need to put it out on at least Xbox, because Xbox is Microsoft. So I think it's easy for them to put updates in that too. We'll see though.
And how they feel about the experience, right? One of the cool things about early access is that you kind of get to build the game alongside your community with the feedback that they give you. So Ash talked about, you know, there's going to be features that will ship during early access, like a career mode. Some of those things may take some time. But I think, you know, as we, you know, get into that early access window and people start playing, we'll have a sense. We'll have some things that will probably communicate, like, hey, here's some features that we're going to deliver during early access, so that the people that are playing will have things to look forward to. And then, you know, obviously we want to get there to that full release as fast as we possibly can. But to Ash's point, at the quality, right, that we...
So, I mean, it's hard for me to think that an early access coming out and the game isn't at least 6 months away, because they're not going to release the most current version for early access. It's always going to be the version behind what they actually have that's ready. So... and the fact that they're not putting my career in the immediate early access tells me, like, the full game's not going to be but so far behind. They're already, I want to say, they have to be targeting Christmas. There's no way they're going to miss Christmas, man. So if they miss Christmas, which is economically the best time to release anything new, you know, anything brand new, best time to put it out is Christmas. Especially if you have a decent price point. I don't know. I'm going to say early access, September. You know, okay, so Madden comes out in September, so let's not say September. 2K comes out in September. No, Madden comes out in August, 2K comes out in September. So they could do end of September. They could do October early access, because by then people are going to be tired of 2K already and pissed off about 2K and Madden already. So that's around the time where, as you know, as you watch gaming content, you'll see the people who play the sports games, they're already pissed off about both the big games by October. So that's a good time to sneak in there and, you know, see what niche you can build with the people.
Is our sort of bar that we have to hit. We have to feel good about what we're doing. So we're going to go into early access feeling confident about the game and how it plays. And then we're going to look at what the community says and take it from there. But we're excited about it because, you know, doing it this way really does mean that people will get to play, you know, sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
And
that's better than nothing.
Get some of that player feedback that we're excited about.
Yo, it's going to be a lot of people that's mad about it just coming out on PC for early access, but having that content out there is better than what we got right now. It can't be too mad. Like, if it's out on PC, you got to believe, like, there's going to be content flying off the wazoo on the internet. Like, you're going to be able to go on YouTube and watch full fights. And that's like, you know, you wish Fight Night was a little bit more simulation, so you could get that feeling of, like, okay, this is Floyd Mayweather versus, like, Mike Tyson, or this is Mike Tyson versus Muhammad Ali. And it's like you're actually getting a realistic view of something that could never happen in real life. That's the object of the game. So to have the content out, period, is a step forward from what we have right now. I'm not mad at it. If I can't get a gaming PC or whatever, then I'll just be happy to just have new content out there. You know, that's stuff that you've been wanting to see for a long time.
Awesome. Well, you said player feedback. We recently hosted several big name gamers in the boxing community. They had some feedback. They had some concerns, some that we've already fixed already.
Get them, Todd.
I believe, Ash, was the shots to the body. They seem to do a lot more damage.
Yeah, so they had content creators. They had 6, you know, Showbiz, The Adult, and Boxing Fanatico, Study. They had those guys come out and actually flew them to North Carolina to play the game. They had 3 guys that's over in the UK where the game's actually being developed, and they had those guys over there. They had 3 of the guys here in North Carolina, and they got to spend, I think, 2 days playing the game, and it's just being up till 4 and 5 in the morning playing this game, getting to play with, I think they had about 10 fighters to choose from. And they got to kind of test it out and experience it. And that version that they played wasn't even the latest version. They actually played a version that was like 3 or 4 versions before what they're actually on. So, and those guys had a blast. They did come back with some truths like, okay, this was an issue, that was an issue. It didn't affect the gameplay or how fun it was, but this was there. You know, this glitch was there. And I mean, Steel City was able to kind of squeeze in the fact that this wasn't the most updated version that they allowed them to play. But
Sonny, you know, in fighting, you'd rather take a shot to the face sometimes than one to the body, correct?
Oh, yeah, because at least if you get knocked out to the head, you wake up and can't really remember it. If you get down to the body, you remember every single millisecond of not being able to breathe. So I guess that's probably the consciousness is probably the biggest difference. But
yeah, so they have to fine tune that, and I think that the version that those guys played, there was a body glitch where if you got hit to the body, the person could just continuously hit you to the body, and the body shots were doing way too much damage. They were OP. That's what you would say. So I think that that's something easily fixed. I think it's just a slider they have to change, which is probably already done in the more final version that they have. So body shots needs to be like, it needs to be a work of art, because when you're throwing body shots, you're basically breaking down your opponent. The more you break down the body, the easier it is for the head to fall. So you want to see them actually put a lot of thought into the development of that system, body damage versus head damage, you know. And also because it's physics based, you're gonna be able to hit the shoulders, hit the arms, hit the chest, hit the back, you know, things like that really fighters really do. They really do punch your shoulders to tire your shoulders out. Is that going to be a part of the game? Or, I mean, I know that they have like, you can watch your head and body damage, but are we going to be able to see small, minute details like, wow, our shoulder is getting worn out from getting hit, you know, with the glove? Is that going to be part of the game?
yeah, yeah, that's all I can say on that one, really.
So, Ash, has that issue been solved?
Yes. So
Right.
that essentially was a balancing issue in the game, and you know, in terms of the features and everything that we're doing and bringing in, you know, that won't be the last balancing issue we'll have. Right, this will be an ongoing,
That's real.
continual process of us fine tuning, balancing, and you know, with the help of the community as well. You know, that's something that we're absolutely doing right now. But yeah, in terms of the overpowered body shots, that's being rectified.
All
Okay.
right. Creators also felt that stamina needed adjusting, that fighters could throw too many punches over the course of the fight. Will, how did the team feel about that criticism?
You know they
and
can fix
what's the
that.
response?
Yeah, I mean, I think that one's well known. It's just another thing that there's a lot of ongoing tuning for. I mean, I think certain things like damage, like stamina, the body shot one was pretty obvious. I think with stamina, you know, you're thinking about, long fights, how many punches somebody can throw, trying to make that, you know, that it's not
Right.
completely out of realistic, number of punches.
Yeah, because you have to have that as a strategy
That
tactic.
one's just a moving target. You know, as we play the game and make changes, there's just sort of like a constant, checking of, how do things stand. And so we'll take a look at that, and then of course when we get into early access, our players are going to have an opinion about where that's at as well. And it's just one of those things that, balance wise, that you're basically always doing on a game.
Yeah.
And what about the controls being more responsive, Ash?
Yes, so that's some good feedback that we had around. I think it was specifically around the dodging, being able to dodge and essentially.
Yeah, so we're not going to sit here and watch this whole thing, man, but I wanted to cover the release date possibilities, the early access, some of the gameplay that they're covering. I think that Steel City Interactive is doing an amazing job at keeping it real with the community and staying transparent. Unlike EA Sports, unlike Take-Two Interactive, they don't talk to the people. If they do, they just lie. So I want to see, man, I'm ready to see some gameplay. I think that we're right around the corner from seeing a lot of footage drop of the version that they're currently on. That's what I really think a lot of people want to know more about my career. I feel like that we could have at least known something by now, at least the grand scope of how it's going to operate, how it's going to work. what the main points are, that they're going to bring to the table. I don't know. I think that we're maybe a month away from that, but we'll see. Check this out, though. It's on the ESBC YouTube channel, ESBC Boxing Game, I think is the name of the channel. And it's about, I want to say 40 minutes long. So if you have the time for that, check it out. I expect that we're going to have this game by December, though. I expect Christmas, you can be able to purchase this game. So they put early access out in a confident manner to the point where they feel like confident in the game. They're just, okay, once they put that out, they obviously have the gameplay where they want it. So they must still just be working on maybe the online modes and my career. So if they have the game out October and they're able to focus on finishing those things up, November, December, I'm going to say you can plan for a December release like we've been seeing. But who knows? It got announced it was going to release last December. And then certain circumstances happened that were good for the game. New investors putting a lot more money towards the game, yes. But however, it did get delayed. So you can't put that past. I like to stay right in the middle on what's going to happen. It may come out, it may not come out. That way you're not disappointed. But holla back, y'all. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think they're going to drop some information about my career soon. That's what everybody pretty much wants to know about.